Hey guys, it's Tim here from Gaming, and I'm going to show you a bit of a game called Path of Exile. This is going to be a bit longer video than normal because I want to get through a few things and show you a bit of the gameplay. I can't show you everything because of the NDA, because it's in closed beta at the moment, so I will just show you what I can. So basically, if you have no idea what this game is about, it's a Diablo clone. Basically, it's same as always. It's even got the map in the background, and it's akin to Diablo and Torchlight and other games like that. Dungeon Siege, for example, Titan Quest, I would say, is one of the closest relating to Path of Exile. But having said that, Path of Exile does have a few interesting twists that really do help improve the game, and I'm happy to say that. The graphics, for a start, we'll talk about the graphics. They are, as you can see, really crisp and clear, interesting. It's a really realistic feel that they've gone for, instead of the usual kind of traditional cartoony which everyone seems to be going with these days, which isn't so good in my opinion. And this, the visuals are just amazing, like really good visuals. The spell effects, as you can see there, are really good, and the character animations are really good, and the enemy models are really good. The graphics are just stunning. Yeah, so I've rolled a Templar character, and I've gone for a kind of spell kind of build. I'm not going to show you the specifics of the skill panel, but I'll quickly give you a glimpse. This is all subject to change. This is in the closed beta, but this is just the kind of idea of the level of customization that is within this game. I mean, that is just insane. I've never seen anything like it. That's just absolutely brilliant. I mean, you could go any way you want. You can just do absolutely anything, which is great. So yeah, there's a lot of customization which comes with leveling up and getting new items and such, which is good. There's interesting kind of boss characters like this guy here, for example. There's cool spells that I'm actually really impressed with what they've done with the game so far. I think it's coming on really well. And it's relatively unheard of. I've actually not really, I didn't really know about it. I applied for the beta, just browsing through, and thought, oh, that looks quite good. I'll apply for that. If I ever get in, then fair enough. If I don't, well, I'm not that bothered. But when it actually comes to it, it's it's really good. I'm surprised that it's not as popular, but not as well known. I've been speaking to a few people on it, and they are really nice, and they're quite committed. They are quite a team a group of people that are very committed to the game, and you can tell that they've obviously invested quite a lot of time into it. They're looking into what builds the best, what builds are not as effective and such. And I think there is a plan for player versus player combat coming in, but I'm not 100% sure. I probably should have researched that before I started the video, but I will. So yes, it's similar items where you choose your items and such, but and drops, and you're trying to upgrade your guy. But it's an interesting mechanic where your items are slotted. Your spells, sorry, are slotted into your items. So here, for example, I've got Freezing Pulse. I won't look at the details there, but you put a spell into a slot. Each item has a slot, and you can put a spell into it, and then this spell levels up, and it does more damage as you level up and you use it and such. So I think that's a good mechanic as well, leveling up your spells instead of just buying new ones or getting new ones or whatever. There are some other interesting things about this, in that well, obviously with that customization tree that I showed you earlier, you know, you can customize spells quite specifically to your what you want and your kind of desire of play. So if you want to be a kind of guy who can knock back enemies really easily, then you can manage to do that. And if you want to be a guy who's focused on just pure burst damage, then you can do that as well. And it's just really well thought out, in fact. They also have another interesting mechanic, which is that there's no money per se. You may have played Torchlight if you're interested in this game, and they have a system called Identify Scrolls. So when you get a rare item, you don't know what its stats are, you have to identify it, and you use a scroll, you identify the upgrades on the item using the scroll, and the scroll is destroyed. This is a similar system with this game, apart from in this game these scrolls that you use to identify, you can see at the bottom there, the bottom right, it says unidentified. The scrolls that you use to identify are also used as money or currency. And not only that, there's other items, as I'll show you here, which increase the quality of your items. You can see a quality number there. Increase the quality of your items, and they can also be traded for items. So it's a trading system of materials instead of just a money system, which I think is quite good actually. It means that, you know, your worth isn't just, oh, how much money have you got, you know, that's how good you are. It's a bit more different from that. So if you have a lot of armorer's shards, you know, that'll be worth quite a lot for one person, but for another person, you know, it might not be useful because they don't want to buy any armor. That's just an example, but yeah, it's really good. I'm really impressed. I'm actually going to keep playing it on because I want to keep going. It's got a system where it's got leagues, such as Diablo, where, you know, you play through the game once and then you go on to the harder leagues, harder difficulties, and this then, you know, continues on. So your character's the same, but you can level up. You play against the same missions, but everything's harder, so you still level up and such. Yeah, so this is, I think it's really fun. The quest line, you know, it's not really hooked me in, but it's not. I don't think it's as important. There's no NPC dialogue, you know, like actual speaking. It's all text dialogue, which I don't know if there's plans to change that or anything. It's not particularly immersive, but it doesn't really matter. I think it's just a fun game. I've always been quite a fan of these action, well, not action RPGs, but these RPGs that are, you know, focused around loot building, you know, hack and slash loot building RPGs, where you're building your character up, you're fighting harder enemies, you know, more interesting enemies, and you just work through. I think it's a really good system. It fulfills the collector in me, that's for sure. Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep playing for a bit longer to see if anything interesting happens. I think I'm level 8 or something, so I've not really played too much of the game, so I couldn't comment on so much. But I don't know on the kind of the later levels how much variation is on the levels, but I'm fairly confident that the maps will be quite varied. Already, you know, I've been through a kind of beach area into a swamp area, and the variety of enemies has changed. I've been in a cave which has some interesting enemies, and I fought a boss guy who was interesting in there, and so it's got good variation so far, that's for sure. What's important with this is it's not like Titan Quest or Dungeon Siege, Diablo. You cannot play single player. It is a multiplayer only game. Having said that, it's not an MMO, so as you can see, there's no other players around me. It's just a game where you log onto a server, and then there's hubs. So, you know, the city areas, they are populated with players, but the actual combat areas are not unless you party up with them. You know, so if you're partying up with your friends, you can obviously go into combat with them, or if you meet someone in the hub and you want to, you know, go party with them, then that's fine. But you'll never meet adventurers on your travels while you're killing these guys, for example. And I think that's a good system for this type of game. I think that, you know, it bypasses a lot of problems that come with MMOs, such as, you know, people stealing loot and a lack of, oh shit, I'm about to die. A lack of, I'm just gonna kite this guy. A lack of monsters to kill. You know, especially starting areas when a game just starts. But that's irrelevant. Sorry, I should just be not talking rubbish. Oh, I think I'm poisoned. That might be why I'm dying. Aha, level 8, perfect. Yes, so it's not really much more I can say at the moment. I'm going to keep playing through it. I'll maybe produce a video later when I'm a higher level and tell you how it's going, or not really sure. Depends what you guys want. If you've listened this far, which is probably unlikely, but I'd like you to comment to see if you prefer a style of video where I just talk through the game like I'm doing now as I'm playing it, so you know things happen as I'm saying it, or if I record some footage and then talk over it. I personally feel that it's more authentic if I just play and talk at the same time, but obviously it means I ramble a bit as I'm doing now, which you might not want to listen to, or you might, I don't know. So it's up to you. I might do a video of some other classes or something, but I don't know how deep the NDA is, so I don't know how much I'm actually allowed to post. I know I'm not allowed to post specifics about things because they're all subject to change in the closed beta. So this is closed beta. They are taking out keys randomly, giving out keys. So go to the website pathofexile.com or .co.uk, probably .com, and sign up for the beta. I don't know when you'll get it. I think there's the possibility that they're going to release a few keys for friends, so I might get a few there and then get a couple other gaming guys on the go, because I think that would be quite fun to do a bit of co-op, and we can also maybe do a video there of some co-op play. Apart from that, I think that's me lost, so I'm probably going to leave it about here. Thanks for watching, see you later guys.